Okay, kindergarten, so now that we learned all about sculpture, we're going to create a really cool fantasy shield that we can use when we're protecting the king and the queen. So I have a piece of cardboard here, and you can make your shield any size you want. I just have a tiny one because I want to make a miniature. So the first thing I want to do is take my piece of cardboard, and I'm going to pan you down here so you can see, and I'm going to lay it down. And I'm going to take some Elmer's glue because I'm actually going to draw with the Elmer's glue and shake it down. And what I'm going to do is, using the tip, I'm going to create a design onto my cardboard. Now, you might try a totally different design than Mr. Price, so that's fine. But I'm going to create spirals just to show you some different designs. You don't want to pick it up once you start putting it down because you want it to look like frosting. And you don't want it to drag. If you want, boys and girls, you could take a hair dryer and lightly blow dry this. That way you can move on to the next step. Now, if you don't have a hair dryer at home, you can just let this dry overnight and then continue the project. Okay, so boys and girls, I gave this a few minutes under the hair dryer, and you can see it's still a little wet, but I think it's okay for me to show you the next step. I really would wait overnight for this to dry because I can see that there's parts that are dry and there's parts that look dry, but if I press on them, they're a little soft. So definitely wait until this is all clear and hard. But I'm going to just show you the next step because I want to finish it with you together. So I'm going to pan you down. And now I need a big piece of aluminum foil. And I am going to lay that on top of my shield. Just like that. Now hopefully this will work because it is a little wet. And I'm going to lightly rub take some of this off. I don't need all of that. Just make sure that your aluminum foil is larger than your tin foil. So I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to wrap up my shield. Like a little present. Do you see that? And now I can already see it. Do you see it? I'm going to start pressing and rubbing using the tips of my finger. And I can probably even take a paintbrush to help mush it in. There. Do you see the design forming? But now what I want to do is I'm going to take a little bit of black paint, and you can use any kind of paint you have laying around. This happens to be acrylic, and that's all I'm using, just a tiny little drop. And I'm going to just ever so lightly brush the surface with the black. Now watch this little trick. looks like I just made a mess, but if I take this black paint, now that I put it on, and here's a paper towel, and I'm going to burnish or rub my design. And what will happen is the black paint will stick inside the nooks and the crannies, and you'll start to see your design. Now I'm gonna put a little more black on. You have to do this in stages, right? Sometimes you add a lot, sometimes you take off a lot, sometimes you have to play around with it. Look at how cool that is starting to look. With just cardboard, glue, patience, right? You gotta let that glue dry. You can really see the design now that it's starting to dry. And I have a scrap piece of cardboard, and I'm gonna take some hot glue. But again, you can take Elmer's glue, you just have to give it time to dry, right? And I'm gonna just put some glue on the back of my shield. And I'm gonna put it right here. Flatten it on. See how I just glued that on? And I'm going to just basically now draw the shape of my shield. Can you see that? And I'm going to cut that out just to create a nice edging. And I think I'm gonna pick a nice bold color. I think I'll pick red. Red to me always looks very royal. And maybe this is a shield that's being used to protect my king in the kingdom. So I'm gonna just put a little bit of black paint right in there, just dull it down a bit. And I'm gonna go ahead just create a shade of red just to make it look a little more antiqued. Not the scissors, right? Wow. Look at how that red pops that shield off. And I have a little rope here gonna use. I'm gonna cut a piece now. If you don't have rope, just to show you, I have some string. These are all different yarns that I keep in a basket, so you certainly can use whatever you have laying around. And I'm gonna put in, I think, 2 holes into my cardboard. Ask mom or dad to help you with that. And I'm just gonna fish my Okay, so boys and girls, you can see I made a really cool shield that hangs. Maybe this is gonna hang in King Arthur's castle, and it's really cool. If I wanted to, I can even put this around my neck and I can create a shield for protection to wear. But you can see how I was able to create a sculpture that I made with tin foil, cardboard, string, and glue, Elmer's glue. I hope you like it. I'd love to see what you create. You can email me a photo at pricet@pearlriver.org. And if you master this project and you'd like to try some other magical and fantasy projects, you can click on other grade levels and see what they're doing as well. I hope you have a great week, boys and girls. Tune in next week We will have more fun with art and online learning. Talk to you soon.